Okay, shalom, shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah, Koholoyim La Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, Bahashim Rakahakodash, double honors to our apostles and elders, a great millstone, who rule well and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to our H.I.M and Akhwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Yachanan the Waf. Just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And look at what we have here, man. Trump's agriculture head expects 34 million able-bodied on Medicaid to do farm work. Crazy, bro. And here she is right here, these people are fucking crazy. So you had people that was doing the work. Honest work, you know what I'm saying? Like, they weren't tripping. But they made it seem as if all those people, which are, Northern Kingdom Israelites, were just criminals. You running up in schools, picking up kids. You running up in Home Depot, picking up people that's buying supplies to build. You running down on all the farms where these people were already working at. Our people was already doing that gruesome job, which I ain't tripping on it. You know what I'm saying? Because I've done that kind of work when I lived in the South. Hell, my whole childhood growing up, shit, that's how we bought our school clothes and shit like that, and shit, the school supplies. You know what I'm saying? Shit, kept money in my pocket too. Shit, 12, I think I might have been started in the fields when I was maybe about 12 years old or so. Shit, I done that shit, man, until I was like 18, in the summertime. You be out there, you go early in the morning about, 5, 6 a.m., and you done with your work by, you wanted to be done with your work by 12 o'clock. Before the sun is high in the sky, because it's hot as shit. But shit, man, as kids, man, we kept, me and my brother, man, we kept a pocket full of money. All the other kids would pick at us and shit, you know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas working in the vid, but guess what? We had a pocket full of cash and none of them had nothing. And while they was talking shit and about us, we'd be the ones, you know what I'm saying, buying them snacks and shit. Because we kept money, man. We kept money. And then my grandmother, she was like, one of those Proverb 31 type of women, because she kept what she thought was the Sabbath, Friday sundown or Saturday sundown. She wore dresses. She taught our, all the women in the household, our, aunties and sisters and stuff like that to wear dresses. She didn't allow them wearing pants and shit like that. She was into the scriptures, you know what I'm saying? But what she would do is she would lease a field, and she would have somebody come through and dish up that parcel of land that she was renting, because she would rent it for like 3 months. She had somebody come through, dish it up, and plant whatever it was that she wanted planted, and the family would go out and pick all that shit, man, and take it to the Grady and get our money. So we was doing that on the side, as opposed to going to the other people's fields, doing anything that was seasonal, fucking pecans, strawberries, cucumbers, you know what I'm saying, baling hay. You name it, man. It was all kinds of shit, but we made money, you know what I'm saying? And it was honest work. It kept us out of trouble, but we had our own money was the thing, So, and don't get me wrong, it's not, this is not for everybody. That's not that, you gotta be, this is not your average work. I'll put it that way, because I can remember being younger. My grandmother always would say, she had this saying, because the kids, we'd be complaining about our back, because you bending over and you picking shit up. And so we'd be like, my back hurting. She'd be like, boy, you ain't got no back. You got a gristle. Get your ass back to work. So, my little story. But my grandmother, she was like one of those Proverbs 30. Let me get that real quick. One of them Proverbs 31 women, man. She done it every year. But she taught us how to get up and go to work, man. You know what I'm saying? And then at that time, it was a more trusting time. Because, the older people that would be on the back of the trucks, because we used to wait on the corner, and there would be trucks passing by. And you'll ask them what they're picking. If they was doing watermelons, I was like too small at one point to pick up them big ass watermelons and shit like that. But you just ask what it is that they're picking, and you ask how much they're paying, and you jump on the back of the truck with a whole bunch of other people. Shit, we was kids, man, but the elderly, they looked out for us and stuff when we was on the truck. Shit, they made sure we was all right. We go with a little sandwich bag and shit. Hey, Grams is on our ass, man, about getting up and going to work. Let me see. Yeah, it's a description of a worthy woman. Proverbs 31 and starting at verse 10. Let me see though. I want to get to the point. Yep, right here, verse 16. She considereth the field and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands, she planteth the vineyard. And, but she would rent the field. She would lease a field, a parcel of land. I'm not sure how much, maybe, I don't know how many acres or whatever it was. That's how I learned how to drive. Because certain stuff, once we would sack everything up, we put everything in those burlap, they call sackcloth. You see some of the elders out on the highways and byways, they'll have like what looks like potato sack garments on. That's what we used to put, like, potatoes or cucumbers or whatever in, and then you would take that shit up to the Grady. They would run it on the scales and weigh everything up and shit, man. As you got paid. But I learned how to drive because I was too small to pick up the big ass sacks to throw into the truck. So they would let me get up into the truck, and slowly drive it down the roads, of the field, which I thought was fun, what I'm saying. But this is what my grandmother would do. On Proverbs 31:16, again, it says, she considered the field and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hand, she planteth a vineyard. Yep. And she girdeth her loins with strength and strengtheneth her arms. But that's what Grams used to do, man. We complained a little bit as kids, but, being older, I can appreciate it now because it taught you how to get your ass up and go to work, man. So let's go back to the article because these people crazy as hell. And Salakia for the slide off, but that's the spirit, though. You know what I'm saying? We move with the spirit. Okay, so it says Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins argued that 34 million able-bodied adults who are at risk of losing their Medicaid benefits should be expected to take the jobs of migrants on farms. Now, when I looked this up, I looked up how many white people are on Medicaid. 40% of the people in America are on Medicaid. And you got to think, I think it's like supposedly 212 million so-called white people. So you're looking at damn near 100 million people on Medicaid, that so-called white people, that they're going to be looking to go into these motherfucking fields. But really, they got their eyeball on you, Jake. They got their eyeballs on you so-called blacks, man. It says, during a Tuesday press conference, Rawlins was asked about President Donald Trump's pledge to give farmers a pass when it came to immigration and custom enforcement raids. There will be no amnesty, Rawlins insisted. The mass deportations continue, but in a strategic way. And we move the workforce towards automation and 100% American participation, which again, with 34 million people, able-bodied adults on Medicaid, we should be able to do that fairly quickly. Man, these people not going, who the fuck you think going? These people not going out into no motherfucking fields. Are you fucking crazy? Who you think? Have you seen the oh my goodness, bro. This let you know this man wisdom. What is that scripture that talks about wisdom has left teeming? Let me see, bro, because these people silly as hell, man. This is the dumbest shit ever. You had people here doing the work already, but they tried to make it seem like every single one of those people was some type of rapist, murderers. Like, come on, bro. And you ain't even seen none of these criminals that they talking about. They not showing you none of these. This million of 50,000 or 100,000 of MS-13 gang members and cartel. They not even. You don't see none of that. The raids that we seeing, they going to people's houses that fucking work, man. Kids that are in school, they going to schools picking up children, man. That kind of shit. Going to restaurants while people are, while they in the back cutting up, potatoes or just, doing work that you damn Edomites are not gonna fucking do. You not going into them fields, bro. Come on, bro. This is the dumbest shit, but you know what? Perfect for the asses, man. Jeremiah 49:7, concerning Edom, biblical name for you so-called white people. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, is wisdom no more in Teman? Is counsel perished from the prudent? Is their wisdom vanished? Because y'all looking pretty goddamn stupid right now. You really think these Americans are about to go into them fields? 40% of so-called white people. So I guess, you have, I guess, looking at age range or whatever the case may be. But shit, they worked the shit out of us in the fields, our grandparents, man, until they died back in slavery. But you think a fucking 60-year-old so-called white woman, so-called white man, with children, you think they're going into a field to pick anything? Come on, bro. Look Let's see some of these comments though. I mean, my goodness, bro. Yep. And everybody in here clowning. And look at this one. Hey, MAGAs, get picking. Yeah. Laughing emo. Hey, but see, let me see. Said to the fields and everybody jumping off the cliff. Yeah. Hey, everybody, because people know. MAGA to the rescue. People know. Somebody says they're too lazy. Trump supporters and friends, yeah, that will be working in the fields. No, they not, bro. No, they not. No, they not. But then again, hey, you know, Esau, he might just put the screws to him. The Republican Party is a clown. Yup. Says, yay, modern day slavery. I can't believe what a joke we've become. Yeah. It says a lot of young people in their 60s today in Northern California pick strawberries all of a sudden. It's slavery and too good for the kids today. Well, hey. Problem solved. That was easy. Now, who decides which MAGAs are able-bodied? Yeah. What could go wrong? Yeah, they not looking to And somebody says, what happened to the South Africana farmers? Yeah, what happened to them? Yeah. Somebody says she's an idiot if she really believes this. Does she know how many of 34 million are anywhere near a farm? Well, they ain't gonna give a shit because these little you Edomites think that you're safe, man, when it comes to these alligator Alcatraz spots and shit that they putting together. You're not safe. They'll round your ass up and put your ass to work. Cause down south they got what they would call a chain gang. A lot of these prisons in America with Jake and them so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, who are mainly so-called blacks in general. Hey, they got their asses putting their asses to work for pennies a day. That's a thing here. Let me see. So it's nothing for them to throw you, and you don't have no choice where the fuck you going to work at. They'll throw your ass on the back of them buses, chained up, and your ass will be out there in the motherfucking field singing a goddamn a Negro spiritual, man. Let's put in how many prisons. Have the prisoners working. Oh, man, bro. Esau not about to do this shit. You definitely about to start a revolution now. In 2019, more than 98% of prisons in the United States had work programs. These programs range from basic prison maintenance to work in state-owned businesses. 2016, 60.9% of inmates reported having work assignments. Yeah, they don't put your ass to work, man. Okay, so it says, here's more detailed breakdown. Prevalence. Work programs are widespread with 88% of prisons in the U.S. having them. So they've been getting free work out of the prisoners forever. And we know that goes back to slavery and Esau, with his, writing into law bullshit to round up Jake, man, the scripture talks about woe to them. Let me see if I can find it. Woe to them. Let's see, I think, Micah 2:1, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds when the morning is light. They practice it, and because it is in the power of their hand. Yep. It says, and they covet fields and take them by violence and houses and take them away, so they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. And they've been doing that forever, man. But the scripture also goes off into how this man, he sits up. This motherfucker can't go to sleep unless he puts together or devise an evil plan, man, to wake up and put the screws to your ass the following day, man. They've been getting all this free work out of you, Jake, forever. And they gonna put Jake in them fields. It says common work assignments include prison operations like food service, maintenance, and laundry, and work in state-owned businesses. Around 61% of all U.S. prisoners in 2000 is okay. We got that part. The federal program employs incarcerated workers in 63 factories and 3 farms. See, across 52 U.S. prisons. Work release. Some inmates participate in work release programs where they work outside the prison during the day and return to the more supervised setting at night. And see, this is something that Esau will offer your ass to make you take that damn chip. Well, we're going to have to monitor you. Straight up, man. This is what they'll tell you. We're going to have to monitor you. So if you want to go on this work release program, and guess what? A person that's got 100 years, motherfucker got a life. And he's telling you, okay, well, we could, all you got to do is take this chip and shit. We'll give you, low security. Hell, matter of fact, you can go home for the weekend. Ain't no telling what they might be offering Jake out here, man. Says some states like Arkansas, Georgia, and Texas do not pay inmates for any work. See, so they'll be getting a lot of this work done for free, while others pay very low wages and have limited protections against exploitative working conditions. See, so Esau, he don't care. He'll throw your ass in that field, and guess what? When Esau, the so-called white man, was going out into the cabin and raping grandma and getting her pregnant, those babies that were his seed, he was putting their asses in the field. So he don't have no problems putting you Edomites in the field, you so-called white people, because they look down on you too. You're just so goddamn stupid to the point where they've made you think that you're important and you're not. You're nothing but same color as them niggas. That's it, man. Damn, I was just about to try and search something. I just came back to me. I'm just gonna put in the white men put their slave children in the fields. That's where should have asked ChatGPT. I don't have it on his phone though. Yeah, see, they don't want to word it as if that's what was really going on, because he wasn't owning up to them being his children. Maybe I didn't. I may have to key in on a. Let me put in. Need to get a little more detail. Salakia, bear with me here. Okay, here we go right here. It says yes. So I asked, did white men who got black women pregnant during slavery, did they put their children in the fields? It says yes. During slavery in the United States, children born to enslaved women, including those fathered by white men, were often put to work in the fields alongside other enslaved people. See? So this guy, he don't have no problems putting his own offspring or his own seed into the field. So he don't give a fuck about the rest of you trailer trash Edomites. You F-150. You need a damn ladder to get into the F-150 with the mud flaps on the back of that bitch. They ain't got no problems putting y'all in slavery, man. It says, therefore, even when fathered by white men, children born to enslaved women were considered enslaved themselves and were often subject to brutal realities of slave labor, including working in the fields. This man is cruel to his own, man. But trust me when I tell you, when they get to talking about stories like this right here, this shit, they want you so-called Negroes to get into them fields. And they'll find a way to do it too. And they'll normally do it through that prison pipeline, man. Somebody says at least a dozen red states have rolled back child labor laws. Let the Republicans who voted for this send their children to work in the fields and meat processing factories. Yeah, let them go do it. It says they also roll back child marriage laws. You can now marry a 12-year-old in red states, no matter your age. God damn, hey. And that goes back to Esau and his, he was doing that anyway with the so-called black girls, so to speak. He been doing that. He been doing that for a long time. But you got it where now Esau, he in these days and times, something like that is looked down upon to the point where Esau trying to slide in with that pedo. He want that P or whatever other letter they gonna add to the LGBT. You know what I'm saying? They want access to these kids, so to speak. I'm telling you, man, this man is a wild man. Somebody says, so how are they supposed to get to the nearest farm that is 200 miles away? They got they processing these camps for y'all asses. Out in the fields with you, maggots. This is why the radical right extremists wanted work requirements put on Medicaid recipients. Yep. Somebody says had a funny feeling they'd attempt something like this. Whether it will fly or not is a different story, but it does show their mindset. Well, yeah, it's not going to work. Says, hey, MAGAs, you may spend all your benefit money on Trump's merchandise, but are not exempted from the 34 million able-bodied and Medicaid. Time to roll up your sleeves and head to the farms, man. Hey, it is what it is. So hey. Somebody says slavery in the fucking making. Well, you put Jake in slavery, so what's the fucking problem? Why you Edomites can't go into them fields? Yeah, man, people in here clowning this guy, man. Yeah, they got to go pick him with the MAGAs. Yeah, but hey, guess what? All y'all, you fucking Democrats too. Y'all going into them fields, man. Yeah, you'll see everybody in here joking. They have no idea. See, you Edomites, you had no idea, what you was going to vote for, man. You was thinking that he was going to make America great again. But you don't understand. He didn't enslave you too. You don't have you don't have no more rights than a nigga here. Other than Jake. Other than the skin color thing that y'all trying to pull. But shit, man, that shit been over with. Jake been done pulled away from y'all overall. Jake been doing better than y'all for quite some time already. There's a lot of Jake out here, man, that's balling out of control. That far surpass a lot of you Edomites. Just your regular Jake that go to work every day. Hey, Jake B is doing a whole lot better than a lot of these Edomites, man. It's just it's really true. I see him, bro. Anyway, man, I find this interesting. I saw it, and we've been trying to let y'all know, man. Keep your head on a swivel. Prophecies are playing out. These people are about to come down hardcore on you Israelites, and the ones that they don't try and throw to the alligators, they're gonna throw you in the fields. They're gonna have they're gonna try and set it up where you Jake go back in them fields, man. So pray that the lesson was edifying with that. Kwame Yashala and the Bible Ball.